Welcome to FOBtv, the future of business. I'm your host, Kevin Benedict, and I want to thank each of you for joining us today. My guest is Tifenn Dano Kwan, the CMO of Dropbox. Tifenn, thanks for joining us.
I am so glad to be with you, Kevin.
So where are you calling in from today, Tifenn?
I'm calling from a small town called Larkspur in Marin County in California.
Brilliant. So if you have to choose a place to self-isolate, that would be a pretty nice place to be.
It's not bad at all, I have to say.
So Tifenn, you've joined Dropbox this year. So being fairly new in your leadership role there on the executive team, how have you experienced assimilating into a new company and then immediately having to work from home and be in self-isolation? How's that gone?
You know, I can safely say I'm a changed marketer after only a couple of months. Dropbox is a formidable engine and company who's had the uniqueness of being able to work on the B2C markets with which was the original core business of Dropbox, and now you're really moving into the business B2B business, and that's allowed me to have a much broader perspective of how marketing can support the growth of the company. We've had a lot of changes. We've had a new COO. We've had new heads of products. But there is a renewed energy. There is excellent talent coming. And again, I'm a change marketer. I have learned so much over the past couple of months. And to me, it's exciting as a CMO to continue to learn. I have embraced the culture, which is extremely empathetic. It is focused on service. I have enjoyed also the data-driven approach of this organization and the digital approach of this organization, which to me was very much the reason why I wanted to join them in the first place. They were a very strong digital player and are reinventing the way people work. COVID situation obviously has accelerated some conversations that Dropbox started about the future of work. And that has been extremely exciting, despite, of course, the challenging setup that we have, because we have such an opportunity to help. We have such an opportunity to start conversations, especially from a digital standpoint. So for a marketer, it's been transformative and it's been exciting.
So talk to me about how your strategy as a company at Dropbox, has been impacted by the pandemic that we're all experiencing now. When you guys sit down, are there new strategies in place now as a result of the way your customers are changing the way they use your product? What are you seeing out there?
Yeah, you have to be very flexible. You have to be agile. You have to respond to the real-time demands of the customers. What we've realized is that, at the beginning of the year, before COVID, you have a roadmap, you have a strategy in place, you are, planning for events, you're planning for all of those things. And then, of course, creates the right approach is when you think about the customer first. Say, we're going to have to really ensure that the customers are well supported, that we assist them, that we assist customers who are asking for help. You can't be wrong. So it doesn't matter if you had a roadmap, if you had some strategic plans, all of these won't matter if you don't take care of your customers. So where we had to probably really pivot was, let's forget for a minute about, all those roadmaps and things that we had in place. They're not relevant anymore. What is relevant is to support the customers where they are with their needs right now.
So what trends have you been witnessing as a result of the pandemic in your own business? How is it looking different than it might have before?
Well, obviously the COVID situation has created unprecedented interest for everything related to file sharing, productivity tools, collaboration tools. We've been obviously partnering very closely with some very strong brands in the world of collaboration and productivity around here who have been seeing the same trends that we have seen an increased demand, an increased need for people to be equipped to work remotely, to be equipped to do what we call distributed work. Need to respond very, very quickly to their own changes, their new reality. And we've seen that spike in interest very, very significantly in our web traffic, in our inquiries. There's been really, really strong. But equally, we're also feeling the struggle. You know, a lot of companies are revising their forecasts. They're very cautious. We feel for all the SMBs around the world who are really in a challenging situation. So we want to help them as much as we can. We also feel for, you know, the people in general. We want to help them. We have worked very closely with nonprofits, K-12 teachers, to give them, you know, access for free to our solutions. We've worked also on a coalition of tech companies that are donating funds to impacted organizations. So for us, our priority is to really help the organizations where they need us the most. But we've seen clearly those trends, especially around content, file sharing, productivity, coming up clearly.
So let's talk about those trends. If you were to put on your futurist hat, do you guys anticipate a permanent change to the way businesses operate as a result of our experience here with COVID-19? Or do you think it's temporary?
You know, so let me talk first about what I see from a marketing standpoint, because it's been really fascinating to observe this. There's definitely a lot more push for a digitized business, right? The way people work now is going to be digitized. So we see an absolute increase in, you know, digital experiences, webinars, and some previous channels who were not necessarily performing digital channels. Now they are suddenly exploding. So I think to me, it's pretty much related to the fact that people still need to find information. They're going to find the information through digital channels because they don't have access to the typical physical channels that they used to have. So the demand is still there. They still need to pivot to new digital channels. So you're starting to see that shift where a lot of those business owners or companies, the need is there. The channels, though, have shifted. So now we need to adapt to just make sure that we find them where they are. We find them where they look for the information. And these are definitely digital channels. But let me just say this. If companies like ours or marketing teams have a similar, if not better, return on investment on those channels, that's where you're going to see the change. It's like, why go back to legacy channels or physical channels if you can have the same impact or based on that? So yes, I do believe that it might be a little soon yet, but I do believe that if we start seeing people adopting those channels and that those channels give them what they need, of course, any CMO will make the decisions that they have to make to just really pivot to those channels. It's just a matter of ensuring that we find the customers who give them what they need, but that we have also an approach that is optimized and from a marketing standpoint that we carefully look at our return on investment. So I do predict that if we start seeing better returns on those channels, that there's no reason to go back.
Taking time out of your busy day and sharing with us your insights there as CMO of Dropbox. Thank you, Tifenn.
Thank you.